My name is Laura Keane, but I perform under the name ELKAE.
I feel everything when you're around, and I make meals of the simple things like hanging out. I want you hot like the summer sounds. I want you more than the other girls that I hang around. I want you.
I'm 24 and I'm from Furlong. I sing, write songs, play keys and produce. And yeah, I compose for different things as well, web series and different stuff. But yes, the main thing is just I'm working as ELKAE at the minute, so releasing music and stuff. I was kind of like one of those kids that were born with a microphone in my hand and like a piano. It's like, do that. So my family's very musical. So my mum and dad sing at weddings and funerals, and they used to sing at restaurants and different things. So I was always surrounded by music. There's like videos of me when I'm like 3 and there's like a microphone set up and like the whole shebang, and I'm singing Celine Dion and obviously not singing it though, you know what I mean? So yeah, that kind of thing. And then I did piano since I was like 4 or 5, and then did grades, and then I was a stage show kid, so I was in like all the pantomimes and the shows and all that fun stuff. And then I started writing songs. Like I remember writing songs when I was like 7, like just little absolutely horrendous stuff, you know what I mean, that makes no sense. And then I started writing piano pieces then as I got older, and then just merging them together when I was about like I think 12 or something, and then just dabbling with all kind of thing, and then really good in songwriting when I was about 13. And then I started producing. I'm not sure if you call it producing, but I had this keyboard and it would have like bass sounds, and it would have drum sounds, and it would have like kind of like a built-in thing. So I started doing that when I was like a young teenager, 13 or 14, just kind of messing around building up arrangements and stuff. And then when I started doing it like with a DAW, was in college when I first started Ballyfermot, and we started messing around with Reason, and I've never looked back since, so that's what I do now. So ELKAE kind of came together after a year of me not knowing which direction to take my music in. So it was like I used to do a completely different style for years as a teenager and onwards, and I hit a bit of a brick wall and kind of fell out of love with music for a bit, and then I was so wrapped up in which direction to go in that I just wasn't going anywhere. So I just really started focusing on producing, and I was like, I'm gonna just try and merge all these different genres I like, and merge anything I like, I'm just gonna write about it. So I was like, I'm gonna take inspiration from everything and produce it in a way that it all correlates together. And in terms of influences, I suppose it's kind of everyone and anyone. It's if music's good, it will influence me, it will inspire me in some way. If it strikes a chord, it will come out in my next song in some way. Like most people wouldn't even notice, but like from earlier on, I think Christina Aguilera and Laura Isbor was such a big influence for me as a child. Like Stripped was like just my life album as a kid, like 100%. And then I loved Steely Dan, like some of the old school stuff. I loved Chic, I loved Daft Punk. I loved how they merged that together then, you know, the kind of old school 70s disco with the modern dance kind of music and production, and then the soul and the R&B from like Pharrell Williams coming in, like just merging everything, and I love all that kind of thing. And I love Bon Iver, and I love Alt J, my favourite band. I think their arrangements are crazy and just interesting. So my songwriting process basically starts off with it changes. There's different versions of it. Sometimes the song just comes into my head, and sometimes in the worst times possible. And other times I sit down in my studio, which I have set up in my room, and I use Reason, and I basically would start messing. I like to produce and write at the same time, because I think it kind of creates the vibe more. You can get more into it, and sometimes you get more inspired of which direction to go in. So how we'd start is I would generally start with a chord progression or something, and then I generally get the structure together. So, and the structure idea and the melody together, and once I know where I'm going, then I like to sit back and spend a lot more time on the lyrics. Some of them come out like just singing gibberish, and then they just like, you're like, oh, that's actually a line, great. Like there's a song I have and the entire chorus came out from singing gibberish and it just flew out, which was great. And other times you'd sit down and think about it. So I'd start producing, and I generally actually start with the beat and the bass line when I have the chord progression. So I kind of just would throw something like this together and have the song basically pretty much done start to finish, and written and produced and arranged, and then I'd bring it into the lads that I play with, and the girl I play with, Eve Casey, who drums, and then Carl on guitar, and then Aaron on bass, and then Kev is on Ableton. So we don't bring this one on stage generally. What we do is we'd send all the stems to Kev, and Kev has Ableton set up and able to push to, so he can live launch certain tracks, he can loop certain tracks, and then he can also play different things over different synths and basses and different things. So then the guys would slot in, so Neve would come up with a beat over this one, or as well as this one, or instead of this one, and then same with the bass, we'd mute the bass, we'd mute different various tracks, and then it would all come together as a live show. And yeah, so it takes a big journey, and a lot of people as well, all incorporating their talents. So I'm a firm believer of let people be in charge of their forte. Like if he's a bass player, let him come with the bass line, because it'll be better than my one. So yeah, that's kind of how it all comes together. And then when we go to record it, again we bring this in, but we get another producer on top of this. So we've been working with Michael Heffernan a lot, and then he would keep some of the bits and then replace some of the bits and then add his own bits and stuff, and then you hear what it is, but it takes on a long journey before that. So yeah, I've got another single coming out then after summer, and we're gonna have like a video, we're gonna have like the whole shebang, and another single, and then I've got like an EP in the works too. So there's loads happening, and we're gonna be revealing it all soon.